Taiwan is an island located less than 180 kilometres from the coast of China, with a population of over 23 million people and a GDP approaching $1 trillion US. It stands at the heart of global technology supply chains. Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, TSMC, alone accounts for more than 60% of the world's semiconductor output. Yet Taiwan is not merely a small democracy. It is the epicentre of the fiercest strategic rivalry of the 21st century, a contest between a China determined to achieve reunification and a United States unwilling to surrender its dominance. To understand how such a small island could shake the global order, one must look into its tangled history, its geographic position, and the shifting calculations of power that have turned Taiwan into the most dangerous geopolitical flashpoint on Earth. The Chinese Civil War ended in 1949 when the Communist Party established the People's Republic of China, while the nationalist government fled to Taiwan and continued to exist under the name Republic of China. From that moment onward, both sides have claimed to represent all of China, even though Beijing has never governed Taiwan and Taipei has never declared full independence. In 1979, the United States switched diplomatic recognition to Beijing, but simultaneously passed the Taiwan Relations Act, pledging to assist Taiwan in self-defense. This gave birth to the doctrine of strategic ambiguity, a policy of not explicitly guaranteeing Taiwan's defense, yet continuing to arm it and maintain an indirect military presence. In 2022 alone, Washington approved over $1.1 billion in arms sales to Taiwan, including advanced radar systems and anti-ship missiles. Tensions have flared repeatedly. In 1996, China fired missiles into waters near Taiwan after President Lee Teng-hui visited the United States. In 2022, Beijing staged its largest ever military exercises around the island following Nancy Pelosi's visit. The unresolved nature of the Chinese Civil War, together with Washington's strategic involvement, keeps the region perpetually volatile, like a fuse hanging above an open flame. Taiwan lies in the first island chain, a natural defensive arc stretching from Japan to the Philippines that the United States and its allies established after World War II. This chain acts as a barrier to China's expansion into the Pacific. The island sits astride several critical maritime arteries. The Taiwan Strait carries between 30 and 40% of global container trade, linking East Asia, the Indian Ocean and Europe. Further north, the Miyako Strait, connecting Taiwan with Japan's Ryukyu Islands, has become a frequent route for Chinese military aircraft. Japan, alarmed by this, raised its defense budget above $50 billion in 2023, the highest level in its post-war history. The Bashi Channel between Taiwan and the Philippines is a key outlet through which Chinese naval forces could reach the Pacific Ocean. To counter this, the United States secured access to 4 new military bases in the Philippines in 2023, located near this corridor. If Beijing were to seize Taiwan, it would shatter the maritime barrier, extend its military projection deep into the Pacific, and directly threaten US allies such as Japan and South Korea. Conversely, if the United States can help Taiwan hold its ground, Washington will preserve its dominance in the Western Pacific and reinforce the credibility of its security commitments across Asia. Beyond geography, Taiwan's importance stems from its unmatched role in global technology. At the centre of this is TSMC, the world's most advanced semiconductor manufacturer. As of 2023, TSMC controlled more than half of global chip production and nearly 90% of the market for chips under 5 nanometers. The class of semiconductors used in artificial intelligence systems, fighter jets, electric vehicles, and smartphones. 70% of TSMC's revenue comes from American clients, including Apple, Nvidia, AMD, Intel, and even the US Department of Defense. Apple depends almost entirely on TSMC for its A-series and M-series processors. Meanwhile, China's efforts to achieve semiconductor independence remain stalled. The country still cannot produce chips below 7 nanometers because the United States, the Netherlands, and Japan have jointly restricted access to key technologies such as EUV lithography from ASML and specialized materials from Japan. If war were to destroy TSMC's plants in HIS, the world could lose 65% of global chip output, triggering an industrial collapse in sectors ranging from defense to consumer electronics. If China were to capture TSMC intact, it would dominate a semiconductor market worth over $580 billion and upend the technological balance of power. TSMC is thus the beating heart of the digital world and the final shield protecting Western economic and technological security. Beijing calls reunification a historic mission, yet demographic decline, economic strain, and limited combat experience constrain this ambition. China's population shrank for the first time in 2023 by roughly 850,000 people, and its fertility rate fell to 1.09 births per woman, among the lowest on Earth. The working age population will shrink by as much as 40% in coming decades. Youth unemployment reached 21% in mid-2023 before authorities stopped releasing the figures. Economically, China's growth has slowed sharply. GDP slipped from $17.9 trillion in 2022 to $17.7 trillion in 2023. The property market has collapsed with around 80 million vacant apartments. Exports to the West have declined, and technological sanctions have crippled China's access to advanced semiconductors. Militarily, China's forces are modernising rapidly but remain untested. It has not fought a major war since 1979, and any amphibious invasion across the 160-kilometre Taiwan Strait would face immense logistical challenges. Taiwan, meanwhile, is reinforcing its defences with F-16 fighters, Patriot missiles, HIMARS rocket systems and tactical drones. Russia's drawn-out failure in Ukraine has served as a sobering example. Under such pressure, an assault on Taiwan today would risk not only military disaster but domestic instability for Beijing itself. Washington's policy of strategic ambiguity seeks to deter both aggression and unilateral independence. The United States neither recognises Taiwan as a sovereign state nor abandons it, continuing to sell arms and provide training. In 2022, the US approved more than $1 billion worth of weapons, including state-of-the-art missiles and radar systems. Taiwan's significance, however, extends beyond deterrence. Its loss would shake America's entire Pacific defence perimeter, the chain of bases stretching from Japan, where 50,000 US troops are stationed, through South Korea's 28,000 to the new Philippine bases along the Bashi Channel. In a global semiconductor market worth more than $600 billion, Taiwan's fall would mean a worldwide technology crisis. Defending the island is therefore not just about politics or promises. It is about preserving the United States' credibility, economic security and technological leadership. Although often portrayed as a battleground between superpowers, Taiwan is not a passive pawn. Public opinion surveys in 2023 showed that roughly 60% of citizens preferred to maintain the current status, neither declaring independence nor seeking unification. Militarily, Taiwan is strengthening its own deterrence. In 2022, the government approved an $8.6 billion defence boost over 5 years, focusing on long-range missiles, advanced air defence and cyber capabilities. The Zhangfeng 2E missile has a range of around 1,200 kilometres, and the Yunfeng could reach 2,000, theoretically capable of striking China's Three Gorges Dam. Such weapons form a kind of non-nuclear mutual deterrence. If the dam were destroyed, flooding could threaten 400 million people and devastate China's agricultural and industrial heartlands. The message is clear: Taiwan will not go quietly if attacked. Tensions around Taiwan are reshaping global strategy. Japan, America's closest ally in the region, has pledged to double its defence spending to $320 billion within 5 years, about 2% of GDP, and declared that Taiwan's security is inseparable from its own. The Philippines has granted the United States access to new bases near the Bashi Channel, strengthening maritime control between the South China Sea and the Pacific. Australia, through the AUKUS Pact, has begun building nuclear-powered submarines and sharing advanced defence technology with the US and the UK. Even South Korea, though publicly cautious, would suffer enormous economic disruption if conflict erupted, since more than 30% of its technology supply chain depends on Taiwan and China. Beyond Asia, the European Union and NATO are also paying close attention. Nearly 90% of global container shipping passes near Taiwan, and the island's semiconductors are vital to Europe's automotive, defence and industrial sectors. The future of global stability and innovation therefore hinges in no small part on this single island. The US-China rivalry over Taiwan now extends into what analysts grey zone warfare, operations below the threshold of open conflict but with real strategic consequences. China has intensified espionage, cyber attacks, drone incursions and disinformation campaigns. In 2022, Taiwan recorded over 1,700 cyber attacks traced to Chinese sources, targeting government networks, energy systems and hospitals. Chinese drones frequently intrude over frontline islands, such as Kinmen, to unsettle civilians. In response, the United States and Taiwan have deepened cooperation on digital defence and supply chain security. The Chip 4 alliance, linking the US, Japan, South Korea and Taiwan, aims to consolidate semiconductor production and reduce reliance on China. Taiwan alone produces 92% of the world's most advanced chips, those smaller than 5 nanometers that power artificial intelligence systems, military technologies and flagship smartphones. The Biden administration has also imposed sweeping export controls on advanced chip-making tools, persuading Japan and the Netherlands to join in restricting companies like Nikon and ASML from supplying sensitive equipment to China. The battle for Taiwan, therefore, is no longer fought only with missiles and aircraft carriers. It now plays out across cyberspace, trade networks and technological ecosystems. In the 21st century, defending Taiwan means defending the digital nervous system of the modern world. Taiwan stands at the intersection of military strategy, technological innovation, historical rivalry and ideological competition. The danger does not come merely from those who seek war, but from how easily a single miscalculation could ignite a global conflagration. Preserving stability across the Taiwan Strait is no longer the duty of one nation alone. It has become a shared responsibility and a matter of survival for the entire international community. Thank you for watching to the end of this video. If you found this analysis useful, please subscribe, share and leave a comment so more people can understand the silent crisis shaping our future.